It's 2025, winter. I wake up, traffic, get into work, it's still dark out. Design industrial tooling, molds, stuff like that. Time passes. I sit up from my desk and leave. The sun's gone down already. Traffic again. I get home, I sleep. It was never supposed to turn out like this. For as long as I can remember, I've loved to create parkour levels out of chalk on the street, Lego stop motion, Minecraft parodies, commercial parodies, RPG Maker games, a gaming YouTube channel, an advertising company, a dieting app, a tutoring service. Maybe one of these things would have worked out if I had just committed. See, my problem is that I like starting new things just as much as I like ending them. I don't get busy, there isn't some crazy life disruption, there's never a reason, I just stop. So maybe the path of a creator isn't for me. Maybe I should just do things the traditional way, work a regular job. But then I recall what it was like. The clattering of feet, the distant sounds of the water cooler, the feeling of my chair reclining my back. That office lifestyle is what's waiting for me if I don't change, if I don't let myself commit to something for the first time. So I decided. With this last year of university ahead of me, and one last summer, I was going to commit to a single business over the next year no matter what. Even if I got bored, even if I had 0 customers, I was going to do it and see it through to the end. But what business? I had just gotten a 3D printer, so I knew it had something to do with that. I'd attended a lot of weddings recently, maybe 3D printed wedding favors? But those are too cheap feeling, people would probably just throw them out. Maybe decor? Still, too cheap feeling. Unless the product didn't have to be made out of plastic, but wax? Candles. Beautiful, sculptural candles with intricate designs. Issue is, those are everywhere. Well, maybe candles with some kind of customized text? But then there's another issue, those exist too. But wait, those customizations are just painted on the surface or on an external jar. And they're always on simply shaped candles, not the more complicated sculptural designs. So what if I use 3D printing to combine the complex shape of sculptural candles with the customization of simpler designs? This is the story of how I started FDM Candles and designed the world's first candle with a customizable text imprint. But let's slow down. It definitely didn't start that way. In fact, I would say it was more like... The idea was simple. What if I 3D model a candle, create a plastic housing around it to pour wax into, print the housing, and pour the wax inside? Simple, right? I threw together a test model of a teddy bear with a block saying Baby Perez for my cousin's upcoming baby shower. First try didn't go to plan. Even though I printed the external material out of flexible TPU, parts of the candle just got stuck in the mold. But maybe it was just too small? Nope, still stuck, and it leaked. So I made a 6-part mold design to try and reduce stress in the wax during removal, and added a ton of fasteners to stop leaking. Leaking stopped, but wax still got stuck in tight corners, especially around text. Also, for some reason I made it out of hard PLA instead of TPU, and putting everything together with all the fasteners was absolutely brutal, so I moved on to... So this design was a 5-part mold with less fasteners and made out of flexible TPU. Lo and behold, there was still wax stuck inside. It seems like no matter what I did, there was just no getting around wax getting stuck in sharp corners. So was that it? Was 3D printing just incompatible with candle making? Maybe this was a stupid idea, and I'll just end up back in that office making molds again. Wait, molds? Of course, one of the biggest parts of my old job was designing industrial silicone molds. On top of that, there was a system they had in place to label each mold with custom text using a 3D printed label. So what if I just tried that with candles? That way, the flexible silicone could bend around the wax instead of breaking it off. With that and some other key lessons under my belt, I moved on to a new approach. That's right, I brought it back to basics, just a simple box shape. I wanted to focus on the fundamentals before getting too fancy. I went online and purchased a basic silicone mold making kit. I designed the candle itself, along with a new addition, a nameplate. Combine those two together to get one part of the mold structure, and then make a surrounding structure to hold the liquid in to get a mold. So I printed them, and to save on filament, I made the cube out of lightning infill, so it was super airy. It floated right to the top of the bin when I tried pouring silicone inside. I tried taping it down, and still nothing. I increased the block to max infill and used a ton of material in the process, 12 times more to be exact. Still, it floated. I really needed to clamp this thing down. I gave the bottom of the inner tool a threading and made a hole in the outer shell where a screw could clamp them together. I set everything up, crossed my fingers, and it worked. I'd made my first official mold, along with a nameplate to sit right inside. This was a big deal. It was the first time I'd actually done something and gotten the result I wanted. So I went ahead, placed my nameplate inside the cartridge slot, heated up my double potted wax boiler, and poured my wax inside, to which I got this. When I took the candle out originally, this corner was actually intact. It was removing the plastic nameplate that caused the huge crack to form and chip off the corner. At this point, I realized that candle wax and plastic just do not work well together. So I thought, maybe I can cast the nameplate out of silicone instead, just like the outer walls. But things were starting to get expensive. Switching from plastic to silicone wasn't cheap. Excluding wax, just using plastic would price the candle mold at 50 cents. With silicone, you're looking closer to $3, which is a 6 times markup. That might be fine for a little cube. But imagine a larger model. The price, which could cost $5 with just plastic, could end up ballooning to $30 with silicone. Was this a valid business strategy? At the end of the day, you need to make sales. If it's too expensive to produce, it'll be too expensive to buy, and maybe nobody will buy it. If my competitors can make candles for pennies on the dollars, won't I simply get outpriced? Truthfully, I don't know. I suppose the only way is just to try it. Maybe it wouldn't be worth continuing knowing the cost, but I told myself I was going to see this project through to the end, even if I had no customers, even if I got discouraged, if for no other reason than to commit to something just for the sake of it. So, being relatively happy with my test model, I moved forward and took some key lessons into what ended up being the design to change everything. So I wanted a design between the complexities of the bear and the cube, so I opted for a birthday cake. It features a 3-tiered cake reading happy birthday on the top 2 layers with a place for a personalized name on the bottom. I wanted to create a 2-part mold to make candle removal easy. I printed and casted everything, making a container to hold the sides together. But the molds didn't fit into the container, and there were a lot of layer lines showing up, which is a natural byproduct of 3D printing. I made the container larger and added removable sides, and they leaked everywhere. But with some putty and elastics, I made this. Yeah, turns out the wax I was using really sucked for larger shapes like this. A bunch of air bubbles gave this weird translucent look and totally messed up the top. That's when I thought, what if I just flip the mold upside down? Turns out, upside down was way better, as it let me keep everything in one piece, so no leaks. I also researched a solution to fix the layer lines from earlier, vapor smoothing. I switched my plastic material to ABS and made an enclosed chamber with a pot I found in my basement. Turns out, if you pour some acetone inside and enclose an acetone print, the vapors smooth the outer layers, giving a cleaner finish. Or, that's what should have happened, but I just melted paper towel onto the structure. The bigger issue, though, was that this design was so expensive. That's when I realized I need to reduce the silicone I'm using if I don't want to go broke. I shrunk down the silicone to a minimum by pouring a 2-part structure I designed, but again I ran into a problem with my vapor smoothing. So, I created a hanger for the acetone chamber. One thing led to another, and I had my mold, but it had a huge bubble. It seemed like it was just one thing after another. I poked a small hole into the bottom of the mold to thread the wick through, and after designing a supporting structure, I poured my candle. It came out pretty good. Aside from the large bubble at the top and the slight protrusion at the name, it was looking nearly complete. I recast the silicone mold, shaking it during my pour to try and get rid of the large hole, which basically worked. I also tried shrinking the supporting structure a bit to stop the protrusion from earlier, but it kept showing up. Finally, I tried redesigning the supporting structure one last time, and here it is! My first completed candle! I took some photos with my phone of good looking places around my house and started making multiple versions with different text. Each time I make a new version, all I have to do is change the text on the model, print out the silicone caster, vapor smooth it, pour the silicone, and cast the candle. I admit it's a longer process than I'd like, but it definitely beats redesigning a new mold from scratch each time. The color difference is because I switched the wax type to be a pillar blend soy instead of a regular soy, as apparently it's better for staying together. I did the same thing with that prototype cube I designed earlier, and here it is. It can say anything you want, but look what it says. Like, share, and subscribe. Who knew? I think you should do it. While there are still some layer lines in the candle, I figure it's not a big deal for the first cube design. One thing I'm not as thrilled with is the outlining of the nameplate seam line, but I think it fits with the candle's overall symmetry and vibe, so it's okay with me. If you liked either of the candles, or need to get anyone a birthday gift, wedding gift, whatever, you can get one from my shop customized to your liking, including the text and scent, which I've put on screen now. I've put a link in the pinned comment and in the top of the video right around now if you're interested. And I think this nameplate design has huge potential. I can make candles of any shape and decide to put text or drawings anywhere I want, which can be quickly switched in and out. With the process down, I can go straight towards more designs and not really have to worry about trial and error as much. So with that, I posted the 2 products on Etsy using similar products as a pricing benchmark and did some research using chat to fill out the tags, description, and stuff like that. I posted on TikTok, Pinterest, and Instagram and sat to wait. So where does that leave me today? As of the making of this video, here are my stats. For Pinterest, I have 53 impressions, 1 engaged audience member, and 0 outbound clicks. So this definitely needs some work. My Instagram account got 215 views, 12 followers, and 4 external link taps. This is decent, but could still use a lot of improvements. A lot of these are my friends. My TikTok stats are the most interesting. To note is that I used to run an account for my tutoring service with this login, so it already started with 18 followers. I got 828 views and 35 new followers, with an unknown number of outbound clicks to my shop. I think a good amount of followers that had originally followed me were bots trying to farm followers themselves, which explains why there was such a large unfollowing. But most importantly, how is the Etsy shop doing? The shop has been visited 58 times with no sales yet. I'm told getting your first sale takes some time, so this is okay for now. Did you know that only 12% of people use YouTube to plan their wedding? Pinterest has 66%, then 49% at Instagram, and finally 37% for TikTok. So why did I decide to post here of all places? Honestly, it's just for the love of the game. I love YouTube and I've missed it so much. I wanted to show off my business fully transparently, all the things that go right, wrong, and show it to the world completely unfiltered. So, in the spirit of that, this is the total amount of money I've spent on this company so far. When I buy insurance, add another 1,000 CAD onto that total. Needless to say, I'm in the red. Despite this, I'm happy with the way things have gone. Maybe I'll flip a profit one day, maybe not, but I committed and I'm not done yet. I have new ideas for designs and more cooking up as we speak, so remember to subscribe to see my progress. And now you know the story of how I started a 3D printing candle company.